Hello, fellow classmates. I thought I would take a few minutes to just put a quick, simple video together as to how file hashing works. Since we spent a good deal of time on it last week discussing the importance of file hashing when it comes to ensuring that chain of custody is maintained and that evidentiary data on collected hard drives hasn't been changed. But having had some experience with hashing because I work in the area of IT, I have hashed files in the past to make sure that the contents of those files had not been changed. So you can, Word documents, PDF files, spreadsheets, etc. You can take those files and protect them. You essentially with digital rights management, like you have over music files that you would download, so that those files can't be edited. Well, as an additional protection to make sure that the uh, encryption did protect those files, I would also hash those. So that said, I've never used hashing in the context of forensic investigations or any of that stuff, so I learned a lot this week in the class. So that being said, the tool that we will be using today uh, is a tool that I've used in the past called Quick Hash GUI. Um, there are a plethora of hashing tools out there, but I've used Quick Hash GUI in the past, and I've had good results with it, and it's quite a powerful application as well. You can hash drives, you can compare two different folders together on your computer and hash those. So it's quite a powerful application. And another thing that's nice about the Quick Hash GUI app is you don't have to install it. So you could just put it on a USB thumb drive and run it directly from that thumb drive as a single executable file that you just double click to run, and that's the way it works. So today, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you where you can download Quick Hash GUI, and we're going to take a Microsoft Word document and just enter a simple phrase into that Word document, save it, hash it, and we're going to edit that same Word document. We're going to change that phrase slightly, save it, perform a second hash against it, and the last thing that we're going to do, we're going to modify that document a third time, and we're going to change it back to its original contents, save it, and hash it again. And just take a look at those values and see how they change between when the various hashings of the file are taken. And this is where you can go to download the Quick Hash GUI at this URL. And I actually have that URL already loaded up here. And when you access this quickhash-gui.org URL, it will take you down this download section. And they do have code sign downloads available, or versions of this download. That really is, and it's available for a small fee, and you can pay that if you really want to be super, super, super positive that this file is indeed from uh, the Quick Hash GUI people and it hasn't been modified. That said, I've always used the free non-code sign downloads, and they've worked well. Um, and they have them available for Linux, OS X, and Windows. Since I'm going to be doing this on Windows, I will download the Windows version of it. And as you can see, it actually has SHA-1 hash values down here. So once you get this file, it comes in a zip format. This is what you will download. So once you download it, you can actually hash these files. So download it, open the application, and then just look at the hash values on each one of these files that are contained within the download, and they should compute to these hash values. So if they compute to these hash values, you can be assured that that file has not changed since it was packaged and made available um, from the Quick Hash GUI people. If these values are different, then it could be that someone is trying to trick you, so the file has been compromised somehow. But that's a good way that you can tell that what you're running is indeed what the publisher of these files intended for you to run. Nothing has been changed with it. So once you get the file downloaded, it will come down as a zip file, and these files will be uh, what's included in the zip file. The hash values and the hash test, these are files that I will be using for our example, um, hashing example that we're going to be doing today. And you can save these files out to any folder on your hard drive. You can save it, just create one in your downloads folder, run it from there, run it from a USB drive. I just created one in my C program files called Quick Hash Windows, blah, 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 and I'm running it from there. So locate the file that has the hashtag in it. For your more computer geeky people out there, this file has a .exe extension on the end of it. A lot of people by default, Windows does not show the extension, so I've got my extensions turned off right now just for this example. But look for the one with the hashtag. Open that one, and I'm going to just minimize these things to get some of the screen clutter out of the way. And open this up. And you'll notice we got different tabs up here again. You can do a lot of different stuff with it, but for today's example, we're going to be using the File tab. We're going to do SHA-256. Just as a point of reference, MD5 and SHA-1, I wouldn't recommend using those because they've both been proven to they're subject to compromise. MD5 is a lot easier to compromise than SHA-1, but since both have been broken, Google has shown that SHA-1 is able. It takes a lot of compute cycles and so forth to do it, but it has been done. That said, stick with SHA-256 or higher for right now. So let's open up our hash test file. So our hash test file, and this is a very true statement. I think she is out on the porch sleeping right now, as a matter of fact. So my lazy dog sleeps all day on the porch is what we have. We'll save it just to make sure. We'll close it. And to hash it, again, go to the File tab, not the File S, File tab, SHA-256, and just simply drag it and drop it up here. And of course, this right here is the path to our file, right here. And this is the hash value. So I'm going to take this, copy it, create a little notepad document here just to track what we're doing. So our first hash value is this guy here. And let's go back and just for completeness sake, let's copy this and we'll see there's nothing else here in this document. Let's close it out and we'll paste this here. So with this phrase being in the document ending with a period, because for you guys that have read ahead, really what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a second edit to this and put an exclamation mark on the end of it. Excuse me. And we're going to rehash it and see how that changes. So let's go back into our hash test document. Has a period on the end. We're going to delete that period. We're going to replace it with an exclamation mark. We're going to go up, click the save button. Well, it's not going to save because I have it open here. So we want to close out the hashing app. Click the save button, and it saves this time. So my lazy dog sleeps all day on the porch, changing the period to an exclamation mark. That's the only change we made when we saved it. We're going to open our hashing application back up, SHA-256 file, and we're going to drag this in here. And let's see what our, okay, here's the hash value with that exclamation mark in there. Let's close this out. We'll go back to our Word document. We do indeed have the exclamation mark in there. Put this back. And again, when the period, this is what the hash value was. We changed the period to an exclamation mark, and this is what the hash value is. And you can see, I mean, this hash value has changed substantially with just that one small change. And you would see that same thing if you hashed an entire hard drive and something came up and made the smallest edit to it. If you know, again, a period was replaced with an exclamation mark, right? Somewhere in a file on that hard drive, you would see this hash value, or you should expect to see this hash value change substantially. If it doesn't change substantially, something's wrong. So let's perform another test. We're going to go in and we're going to remove the exclamation mark. We're going to put a period back because this is what we started with, right? So do you think the hash value will revert to the original hash? I mean, the content's the same, right? Well, let's see what happens. So we save it, close it, and we open up our handy dandy quick hash app, SHA-256, and let's see what our be. Let's open the file to make sure that, and it did save with the period. All right. And so, my lazy dog sleeps all day on the porch with a period at the end. My lazy dog sleeps all day on the porch with a period at the end. As you can see, even putting the value back, you know, editing the phrase so that it matched the original. When we do a hash against it, you can tell this, again, this hash is nowhere close to being matching this hash here. So a big thing to keep in mind is, like, you know, if you're dealing with evidence and you accidentally make a change to it, you can't go and undo that and make your hash values match. So that's, again, why it's exceptionally important to always right block your evidentiary drives. You know, go through the proper protocols for capturing an image off of them, and then introducing that evidentiary drive back into secure storage as quickly as possible to mitigate any risk that the drive may become damaged or the data on it may be corrupted because of, you know, accidentally, your writes are accidentally made to the drive or so forth. Because once those writes are made, even if you revert the change back, it does not uh, undo that change. It will still always rehash with a different value. So just wanted to take a few minutes to walk through that. And again, you guys can download Quick Hash GUI here, play around with it, see what you think. And if that one, if you, for whatever reason, if that one you don't like, there are many others out there to download and experiment with. So I hope this walkthrough was helpful and shines a little more light on what hashing is and what it actually does. Hope this helps. Take care. Bye-bye.